Not knowing whether your missing cat can find its way home is an incredibly heartbreaking experience for any cat owner. In this video, I'm going to focus on the navigational skills of cats to help you understand whether your cat will find its way back to you. Now, before I tell you all about the amazing navigational skills of cats, I want to give you some advice. Looking for a missing cat is an incredibly stressful and exhausting experience, rendering you vulnerable to bad advice that ordinarily you'd ignore. The problem is there are thousands of people on the internet claiming to know what they're talking about, and they will encourage you that immediately after your cat has gone missing to start to introduce change. They'll tell you to put your sweaty clothing on the fence line, put your cat's litter outside, put cat food outside, and even scatter the contents of your Hoover around your garden. There's even a woman that encourages you to pee in a jam jar and then dribble your urine all around your neighbourhood. And that, my friends, is disgusting. And we won't be doing that. I encourage you not to do any of those things, and let me tell you why. Cats form incredibly strong bonds to their territories, and they're very sensitive to any changes to those territories. To a cat, change is bad news, and this may introduce two adverse effects. Firstly, all the neighbouring cats are likely to come to your garden and explore these new scents that you've put out. They'll eat the food, they'll use the cat litter, and they'll scent mark all around your cat's garden. Secondly, if your cat creeps back towards its home in the middle of the night, it will detect these new scents, and it will believe that one of the cats has occupied its territory and may be waiting to ambush it the moment it approaches the home. And this could trigger what's known as an acute stress response, which in turn generates fight or flight behaviour. And for an already anxious cat, there's a possible risk that your cat will permanently abandon its home. All domestic cats descend from the African wildcat. These wild ancestors roam territories of up to 5 square miles, and in order to survive in these vast, harsh environments, cats evolved something quite remarkable: a highly sophisticated navigational system. They use an array of specialised sensory tools and even the planet itself to work out exactly where they are, which means your cat has an extraordinary ability to find its way home, but sometimes it needs your help. So how do they actually do it? Many people believe cats follow scent trails like breadcrumbs, but that's not true. Scent is just one part of a much bigger system. Scientists now believe that cats build a detailed, multi-dimensional map of their territory, using scent, sound, sight, the Earth's magnetic field, and even the position of the sun. So let's break it down, starting with scent maps. Cats possess an incredible sense of smell, far more comprehensive than that of humans. Humans have up to 10 million odour-sensitive cells, but cats are believed to have around 200 million of these cells, which enable them to detect aromas that are way outside of our scent range. And they use specific aromas as navigational waypoints, such as a rotting compost heap, a garden pond, or the scent of a specific evergreen shrub. And these scent markers act like street signs, enabling your cat to orientate itself to and from its home. And cats also complete daily patrols along the boundary of their territory, creating scent marks at strategic points in the same way that humans use private property signs to deter trespassing. And once the scent picture has been created, it remains in the cat's brain permanently. There's a world of sound that exists just beyond our awareness, and all movement creates sound. And when something moves to a specific rhythm, it produces a unique frequency, a pattern in the air that carries information. And these hidden frequencies form an invisible layer of the environment, one that guides cats through their territories. Cats use distinctive sounds to orientate themselves in a very similar way to how humans can determine the direction of a church through the pealing of its bells. And these fixed points of sound are like navigational beacons. This could be the gentle tapping of bamboo upon a fence panel, the trickling of water in a garden feature, or the gentle hum of an air conditioning unit or heat pump. And these familiar sounds of home give cats the confidence to explore new areas, always knowing which way to head home at the end of a nocturnal patrol. Cats also create visual maps of their territory. They don't possess the same depth or range of colour as we do, but then they don't need it. And this is because they've evolved as nocturnal creatures, primarily active at dawn and dusk, when everything is different shades of grey. Instead, they rely upon the shape, size, or the silhouette of a particular object. This could be the shape of a particular building, the silhouette of a garden fence, or a particular garden ornament. All these shapes and forms and silhouettes are fixed reference points, and scientists believe that they are the final navigational points that cats use to guide themselves to the very doorstep of their home. And every time that your cat explores its territory, it updates its multi-dimensional map. Seasonal changes are discovered and remembered, territorial markers reinforced, and your cat moves confidently across its territory, believing that everything is under control. And for as long as it stays within its territory, it knows exactly which way to head for home. But things don't always go according to plan, because unlike cats, humans are constantly changing the environment. Trees are felled, extensions are built, familiar landmarks are levelled, and new estates are built. And this chaos can push cats out of their territory. And when that happens, things can get difficult, because if a cat has not previously visited an area, it quickly becomes disorientated. It's like you or I trying to navigate around France with a map of Spain. But cats still have two backup systems. An experiment in Germany, which was repeated in America many years later, showed that cats are able to sense the Earth's magnetic field. And they use the changes in the Earth's magnetic fields in the same way that we use a compass, giving the general direction of home. And the second backup system is the sun. When outside of its territory, a cat has the ability to use the position of the sun to determine in which direction it needs to head for home. And whilst these general forms of navigation are highly effective for wild cats when they're navigating across their vast territories, domestic cats are forced to live in much smaller locations. It's like comparing a postage stamp to a football field. And unless a cat is able to find the perimeter of its territory, it could miss its home completely and keep going in the same direction for days, if not weeks. And when this happens, your cat is going to need your help to find its way home. So does your missing cat have the navigational skills to find its way home? The answer to that question, yes it does. Providing, of course, it's still within its territory or in an area that it's previously explored. If, however, your cat's gone outside of its area and become disorientated, then it's going to need your help to find its way home. And we've created a playlist on everything you need to know on how to find a lost cat. And you'll find a link to that playlist at the end of this video. But for now, folks, that's all for me. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Bye-bye.